Most people don't stay stuck because they're lazy. They stay stuck because they believe the wrong things, and those beliefs feel logical. If you're smart, disciplined, and willing to work hard, being stuck feels confusing. You show up, you put in effort, you try to do the right things, you read books, you watch videos, you listen to advice, yet progress feels slow or invisible. Over time, that confusion turns into frustration, and frustration quietly turns into self-doubt. You start wondering if something is wrong with you. If you're missing something everyone else understands. But here's the truth most people never hear. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more effort. You need to stop running the wrong mental software. Most people aren't failing because they lack discipline. They're failing because they're operating under beliefs that work against them. These beliefs don't sound wrong. They sound responsible. They sound smart. And that's exactly why they are dangerous. Let's talk about the thinking traps that quietly keep smart people stuck. The first thinking trap is believing that hard work automatically leads to progress. We're taught this early. Work hard, put in the effort, things will eventually work out. But effort without direction doesn't create progress, it creates exhaustion. Hard work only compounds when it's applied to the right system. Two people can work equally hard for an entire year. One moves forward, the other stays in the same place, just more tired. The difference isn't discipline, it's leverage. Progress doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing fewer things that actually matter. When effort isn't aligned, it feels like pushing a heavy object uphill. Every day takes more energy than the last. That's why so many hardworking people burn out. Not because they're weak, but because effort alone was never the solution. Hard work is powerful, but only when the system behind it makes sense. The second thinking trap is believing that motivation creates consistency. Motivation feels powerful in the moment, it gives you energy, it makes action feel easy. But motivation is unreliable. It shows up when things are new and exciting, and disappears when things get slow, repetitive, or uncomfortable. That's why motivation feels like progress but never lasts. Consistent people aren't motivated all the time. They're protected by systems. They design their environment so the right action is easier than the wrong one. They don't rely on willpower. They reduce friction. Consistency isn't an emotional state, it's a structural one. If your progress depends on how you feel today, it will eventually stop. Not because you're undisciplined, but because emotion was never meant to carry long-term progress. The third thinking trap is believing that more information leads to better decisions. This one is subtle, especially for smart people. You think, if I just understand this better, I'll act. So you read more, watch more, learn more. But clarity doesn't come from information, it comes from commitment. Most people don't fail because they lack knowledge. They fail because they keep delaying decisions. Information becomes a hiding place, a way to feel productive without taking risk. Real progress usually starts before you feel ready. Here's the pattern behind all three thinking traps. They shift responsibility away from systems and onto effort, emotion, or knowledge. But progress isn't personal, it's mechanical. When your system is wrong, discipline feels impossible. When your system is right, progress feels boring and steady. If you feel stuck, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What belief am I operating under?" Because the moment you change how you think, everything you do starts to change quietly. And quietly, is how real progress happens.